Well, things have already been interesting. I'm already having some technical issues, so I'm working things out as I go. I'm getting there. How's everyone doing today? Hey, John Schuylkill River Valley. Hey, Norman. Hey, Bernard C. Hey, Kieran J94. Hey, Carl. Bangachu Junction. Crazy Joe. Welcome, Joel. Hey, Tim from FMR Station. Did Chris end? Is that why everyone came over? I didn't mean for Chris to end. But yeah. Container Man. Who else is Container Man 68? Roy. Who else is streaming right now? I know Jack was. I wasn't sure. Who else? Hey, Dave P. How you doing? Okay, good, Carl. I'm glad he's still going. I hope people are still over there. I didn't mean for people to jump away where things changed and we're still working it out. Oh, Barnabas is streaming. I did not know that. How did I not know that? I didn't think he streamed at this time on Fridays. So that is news to me. I'm trying to get my YouTube to turn on. Yeah, look at that. He is streaming. Well, I guess I guess my numbers will be low and we'll you know we'll well, anyway, I have to do some work. So today I thought I'd do some work. I want to talk about the Easy Street stuff. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Um, I'll get into what the Easy Streets are and what I'm gonna set up with that thing. Hey James and Melvin, how you doing? I got some dust monkeys. So the dust monkeys came from Iron Planet Hobbies. So I just got these. The Easy Streets are from CMR Products. And the other thing is I thought I'd start out with this little project here. If you all remember, I blew up the decoder recently. Norman says there'll be a lot of streams out of the UK because they're locked down again. That makes sense. Well, I'll apologize to Jason later, because I didn't know. I've been going live at 11:30 for the last couple Fridays, so I thought I'd, you know, keep going, just because I figured people were sort of expecting it a little bit, but you know, I'll uh I'll talk to Jason later. We'll figure stuff out. Yeah, so I thought I'd start out with this decoder. So this set that this decoder went in, Containment 68, two streams won't bother me if I can't get either one to load. Yeah, that happens. So I originally bought this set. It's a Halloween set. I bought it because I thought I was going to do this Halloween special. And then I blew up the decoder, and then I kind of forgot about it, and then things seemed to get a little bit crazy, and I kind of just forgot to come back to it. So we're going to take the locomotive, and this should be pretty quick because theoretically I know what I'm doing. And I say theoretically because I thought I knew what I was doing last time, and that didn't work out so well. Container Man, New York never locked down. We've always been, free to do whatever. So at least in my New York City, it's never been locked down. So put it that way. So yeah, here we go. this should be interesting. I do have the meter out, and I'm gonna meter the continuity before I pop this guy back in. Basically, there's a light board in this guy, and this decoder here this is a direct replacement for the light board that's inside it. So we'll see what happens. Containerman 68, that's the problem, is people say things like that and they're just not true. New York's not a ghost town. There's actually a ton of people. Um, it's it's the media. You can't believe what you see on TV. It's just not true. So, yep. Anyway. So here we go. Let's so this is kind of interesting to take off. There's this little bottom piece that comes off, and then so this piece comes out, and I'm going to use this little thing. All right. I probably shouldn't have done it already. It's my fault that I brought it up. But let's move away from the showstopper talk. We can talk about it later. I'd love to just sort of share this with everybody. So let's talk about something different. I think everyone's talking about the showstopper and all that kind of stuff, and I don't think I think we can move past it for a little bit. I'm only going to be on probably till about 1 o'clock, so let's go from there. So, Tim from FMR Station House. This is a SW1500 from Microtrains. In this case, it came out of, I don't know if you saw, but it came out of this set here. But Microtrains does make a lot of SW1500s in a lot of different paint schemes, which is why TCS and Digitrax actually have drop-in decoders for this. So, yeah, and what's interesting about this locomotive, too, that it's the first one I've seen like this, at least. There's, I'm sure, others. Come on out. So there are tabs on the side of the shell, and what those tabs do is the truck, let's see if you can see it there, the truck picks up the contact from the track, transfers it to the shell, which then transfers it back to the chassis. So it's this weird, it's really kind of convoluted. Yeah, I don't know if you can see. Oh, I guess I got to go that way. There's a Blame Heath t-shirt behind me. I just got that in the I just got that in the mail yesterday, so I'm wearing a different t-shirt, but it's long sleeve, and I got long sleeve thinking it's winter, but it ended up being like 70 degrees out there. So I'm wearing a short sleeve t-shirt because that's what it is. So the reason I brought out the continuity tester is that stuff is only 60 miles out. What's Carl? I am really hoping that I don't blow up a second chip, but I'd say the chances of it happening are probably pretty good. So I'm gonna turn this on beep. So I'm assuming most people. Oh, Andy got his Blame Heath mug and sweatshirt. Nice. Nice. I didn't get a Blame Heath mug because I've two of the other mugs, but $25 he blows it. Thanks, Containerman. Do I get the $25 if I blow it, or do you get the $25 if I blow it? So I don't know how many people know how the continuity testers work, but basically there's a 9-volt battery inside the meter. So instead of the meter testing 4 voltage, basically the two leads are going to complete the circuit between the 9-volt battery and the little buzzer. So I'll know if I get a short. So the thing to do, let's see, how do I want to do this? I'm going to get some tweezers out. Yeah, I don't even have my extra goggles on yet, so this could be interesting. What's nice about this though is this drop-in decoder, or this light board and then the drop-in decoder, they're very easy to swap. There's just these two wires just go to the motor, and that's basically it. The contacts on the light board, which you can see here, get the power from the split chassis, and then it goes through the light board and then comes out through these two little contacts, and then those go to the motor to power the motor. So it's pretty simple. Yeah, Bernard, Fluke, I think, makes fantastic meters. I also have an Excel that I really like. But this is a meter. It's an 87.3. I don't think they make it anymore, but I've had this thing forever, forever, forever. So, Norman, yes, it should have been easy. But so what happened is, so when I touched one of the leads and then touched the chassis, like right now I get nothing, but I didn't test that when I first put it in. So when I first uh, first put the decoder in, it shorted out because I didn't test that I didn't have continuity. Uh, Container man. I guess the question though is it me that's making everything more complicated, or is it just that things are complicated that I am doing? So when I called TCS about help with the decoder, they were actually very, very helpful. They recommended to put a little bit of Kapton tape on here, and they just recommended it just to help make sure that I didn't short anything out. So, you know, there it is, the light board and then the DCC decoder. So this has a bigger LED on it, obviously a through hole LED it's called, and then this has an SMD LED. So um, there's no light tube or anything really in this, so it's just kind of, it is what it is. And I think I just broke the railing. Well, I'll have to fix that at some point. Looks like I broke the railing. Jeez. If it's not one thing, it's something else. Okay, so turn this around. Gonna just let's see, slide the decoder in. Let's make sure this is not. So I'd originally made the Kapton tape longer, but the where the chassis touches is right here. So I kept the Kapton tape short, and it seems like now I'm just having a problem getting it to stay in place as I put this in. Come on. There we go. And of course the tape is now slipped over a little bit. Crazy, I think you're right. I am getting very close to just getting a new piece of tape. I like the silicone mat's pretty new as well. I actually really like this mat. Crazy, I think you're right. Let's just get some more tape out. Let's make my life easy. So let's see. I think I used this size last time. This kit's kind of nice. It comes in 4 different sizes, which has been pretty nice. Took me a second to figure out what you guys were talking about. I was like, why would Container Man fall asleep? And then I realized because you're talking about him counting sheep. So, ha ha ha. I just made a mate. I lose a lot less part with it. Crazy, I'm not sure what you're saying. Container Man 68, get your glasses. Are you talking to me? I may need the glasses to actually put the Kapton tape on. I don't know why. I've never liked wearing glasses. So, so I'm trying to keep. There's a little piece of foam that gives it a little resistance, and I'm trying to keep that little piece of foam in there. But yeah, crazy. That's what I'm hoping as well. Is that with the mat, things won't bounce around as much, especially the small screws. And I've been using this little foam tray too, which I think uh, helps collect stuff. I have really spongy carpet in here. It's where I keep my KD coupler springs. Yes, Andy, I've actually done that myself. There is a coupler spring end scale somewhere around here, and I don't know. Hello, kind cake, 1523. How you doing? All right, let's try this again. I can see this a lot better now. There we go. There we go. I think that's a little better. And now what makes this so easy is that all you do is you take these wires and you stick them in this hole, and that's it. That's the whole wiring with this decoder. I've yet to do anything besides drop in decoders. Um, so I don't know how hard it is to do a hardwired decoder, but that's that. So, unfortunately, because the power transfers through the shell, I can't test this until I put it all back together. Container Man 68, zap, no power, buzz, you hit the side. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm hoping I didn't break anything else. Which way does this go? That part goes here. Okay. This part here I know is the part that goes into these slots here on the back, so that's how I know I'm putting it together the right way. And this is a little interesting. There we go. So I'm really bummed that I I knocked these railings out of their holes. And of course, that wasn't too bad. I thought that was going to be much harder. Well, I'm going to leave that side off for now. I'm going to leave this piece off for now. So, theoretically, now I didn't actually test this test track before. So I'm testing the test track with a locomotive that I'm not 100% sure if it works. I probably should have gotten another thing. Yeah, crazy. I thought about that too, like gluing them in. But then I heard RWC Toyman talking about people gluing in handrails and stuff. And I was kind of wondering, if I ever do want to paint this, or, let's say I do break the handrails, it'll be a lot easier to deal with if they're not glued in. So I do think I'll just take my time at some point, probably not right now, and I will just I'll spend a little time just putting it back together, press fitting it back together. Hello, GFW Trains, welcome. Andy, it's funny that you said that. Who has a box of bits that they have left out for now? On Crossed Anchors last night, I don't know exactly what he was doing. Oh, I think it was a traction tire. He was putting it together, and he dropped one of the screws, and he couldn't find it. And he basically commented that now that he lost the screw, he's gonna have to buy a whole nother locomotive. I do have some Type Bond. That's true. So let's see. So, oh, there it is. So let's see. Track on. So I can hear the click in the background. So I know it's going on or off. The good news is that the locomotive didn't go flying off the track. Anyone know about the Sinclair gas stations displaying a green dinosaur? I don't think I saw that. Let's see, loco 0. Loco 3. Loco 0003. Loco. I'd say that's pretty successful. So Container Man, you owe somebody $25. Steve Childers, yes, Container Man. Sinclair dinos were very common in the 60s. So Container Man, my PayPal should be in the description, so feel free to send me the $25. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. Kidding. Generally, I only make the same mistake once. Sometimes I make the same mistakes multiple times. Hey, Keith, CANP Railroad. Hello, pirates of the model trains. Pirates, I'm looking forward to your first video with your son. I believe you said you were gonna do stuff with. So let's see if I remember. There we go, and I can turn off the track, power off the throttle. Good to go. Throttle came from my sponsor, Iron Planet Hobbies. UR93. It's been really great. They've been really great. So let's see. So if people are okay with this, I'm going to spend a second just trying to put a couple of these back together before I move on to the next thing. Let's see. Oh, wow, it's noon already. Well, I'm glad that took up a half hour. That was easy. Hello, Ian from Lehigh River Subdivision. Ian, on Sunday, I'm hosting Sidetrack Sunday, and I'm going to pull out my HO trains, and I actually have a Lehigh Valley passenger train set, an old Athearn Blue Box train set. So if you're around Sunday night, 8 o'clock, I would check that out. Steve Childers, well, Heath only broke one handrail. I'm impressed. Technically, I didn't break it. Technically, it just popped out of its little holes, so I didn't break it. Andy Ambrose, it is said that you learn from your mistakes, so why am I not really clever? Andy, I don't know. I can't really answer that for you. This is really about just getting the right angle. Once I get the right angle, this is actually going back together very quickly. When I do stuff like this is what makes me realize why people do like things like O scale. You know, if you've got the space, it's all good. Norman, I think it's plastic by the way it's molded. The way the little pins are molded to fit into the holes, I would guess that it's a plastic part, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's plastic. So. Well, there we go. If people are curious, oh, let's get this out of the way before I break something. If people are curious, I think this is kind of so I like some of the stuff Microtrains does. They make all these little, they make all these little sets, This one says, we're hunting for you. TSRX 3915 Terminus short line. And I don't know if you can see, there's little people dancing inside. Norman, I was thinking the same thing. Be super careful. Let's see what this one says. Serving flesh to all the West. You can see it looks like little zombies inside there. Pirates, thanks for stopping by. Have a really good day at work. Oh, hey, Nick from Rule 1. How you doing? We will devour you. Oh, I see what they did. I'm wondering if anyone knows. Like, this says serving all the West, but serving flesh to all the West. The ing flesh 2 was painted on top. I'm curious what what it may have said originally. And they've painted both sides, so. These would be cool to try and put little LEDs in to light up the little scenes inside. Yeah, Ian from Lehigh River Subdivision. I agree. I think the sets that Microtrains produces, I really like. I really like them. I have a whole bunch of different ones and stuff, and I just think they're really interesting. Terminus short line, Way of the Zombies, 1369. And look at some of this detail on here too. Yeah, now I'm dropping everything. Now I'm afraid to touch things. You know, the detail at the end there. I wish the quality of this overhead camera was a little better. Let's see. Let's see if this is any better. Yeah, there we go. That's giving a little better results. Yeah, I think the details are pretty good. Andy, disclaimer, this YouTube channel is not intended for anyone of nervous disposition as it contains Heath. Yeah, you know, I do what I can. Timberous Earth, blimey, this is my 4th live today. Yeah, and my day's just getting started, so this is my 2nd, I guess. I didn't realize I was on at the same time as Barnabas, which is a little bit of a bummer, but you know, we'll make it work. Let's see, I'm trying to. So it says I have 0 concurrent viewers right now. I don't know what's up with I don't know what's up with them. But yeah, I think this camera actually gives a little better view of things. That's definitely nicer than my Bachmann caboose. But they were the only D&H and LV1. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that when you're looking for the older stuff, or not the older stuff, but the Fallen Flags stuff, that sometimes it can be harder to find. Chris, it's going well. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry to jump over your stream. I found out right as I got on that Barnabas had gotten on as well too, so you know, it's just that time. It's just that time. According to YouTube, I have 0 watchers, so you know, we'll see what happens. Hi, Chris. Of all the streams in the world, you walk into this one. Yeah. I kind of love that we all know each other. We're all, not all of us, but you know, a lot of us are in places where we need to be connected because, you know, our jobs are connected, and you know, we're able to spend some time of the day together. Digger Evans, Model Railway. Welcome, sir. Chris says, ouch, lol. Who cares? Oh, Chris says, yeah, I know. Hey, I've been doing 11:30 on Fridays for, you know, several weeks now. So, you know, that makes me the godfather of Fridays at 11:30. So it's all good. I don't, you know, YouTube is huge. It's not a zero-sum game. People that don't catch this stream can go back and watch it later. So it's all good. But boy, I am just really glad that this went together easily, and that was cool. So I want to take a look. Next, I think I'm going to move on to these Easy Street things. Easy Street is the railroad system from CMR Products. It's basically a they print. It's the, you know. Let's switch cameras again. They print the little street things right onto styrene and cut them out. So what I did is, and I'm not going to get it out right now just because things are kind of piled up, but I'll just kind of go through what I did. So they give you these templates, and you know, as you can see, the templates match the pieces that they have. So I cut out the paper templates, and then I went to the next module I want to work on is going to be my Circus and Carnival module. So I cut this out, I went over to that module, and I laid out a design, and then called up CMR Products. They make a bunch of different, like this printing they call medium asphalt. They make new asphalt. Hey, Norm Miller, how you doing? They make, this is old asphalt. They make concrete. They also make, I don't know if you can see, let's see, can I get these out? These are decals that they make. They have, sidewalk crossings, the zebra stripe stuff. These are decals for railroad crossings and stuff. But this is going to be one of my next projects. You basically just use, the way they recommend putting it on is with Super 77, which is just a multi-purpose spray adhesive. Just spray the backs and stick them down, and because they're styrene, they're flexible, so you can conform them to different shapes. Hey J94, Kieran, haven't you been here? Or maybe it was just that I saw you on the last one and I'm getting very confused and I don't know who's been where. But yeah, what I'm probably going to use is contact cement instead of the spray adhesive, just because I'm in an apartment. So Timber Surf, how much is that in US? It's 12 here. Are you talking about these items, or what are you talking about being 12 pounds here? Because these are the US prices listed on them. But they have, as you can see in the curves, they got these, sort of this kind of curve, and then they got really steep curves. They've got some, like this one's got no road markings on it. This one's got the yellow lines in the center and the white on the outside. They do them without the white on the outside. They do them with passing marks and all that kind of stuff. So it's really pretty cool. Oh, the 3M70, I have no idea how much that 3M77 is. I've actually had it for a while now, and I actually have no idea. I don't know. Oh, here, I'll do this. Why don't I be proactive? Open up Google Chrome, and I can take a look. 3M77. Okay, so 3M Super 77 for that size can that I was showing, $11.31 from Home Depot, and Home Depot's, one of our big box stores. I actually like, so Spray 77 is great. It's kind of it's the multi-purpose one. I actually like the Spray 90 a little bit better. It's got a better hold, but the Spray 77 is what I had. So, hello, Alan from Dragon Junction Mark II. Welcome, sir. Yeah, I keep forgetting it. This time, I guess now with the UK stuff, that I'm going to get a lot of the UK people here. So this will be one of my next upcoming projects. The module will be about the same size as the other module that I have scenery on, but so Timber Surf, yeah, it's Spray 77 is very easy to get a hold of here in the US. I think it's really very common. So yeah, and just these being styrene, the same glue and stuff that you use with all of your evergreen styrene stuff that people use for scratch building, you can just use with this to put it together as well. So the same, cutting and whatever its thing. Extruded polystyrene. Timber, are you talking about the like the pink or blue XPS foam is very hard to find? Because actually here in New York City, it's actually also very difficult to find. We don't have a lot of houses here. So in the Home Depots out in the out of the cities, you can find it because people buy it for their homes for insulation. But here in New York City, I actually ended up ordering 2 foot by 2 foot chunks of it, because that's all I could find. So yeah. CMR Products also started doing this slicker-in stuff. It's I'm actually kind of curious. Do people use oh, interesting, Norman. No pink foam in California either. Oh yeah, I'm sure because California's got all the rules on a lot of that stuff. Yeah, I've seen that PIR with the foil stuff, and I've seen people use it, and obviously the foil is used to reflect the heat and the light and whatnot. Which, um, yeah, it's really interesting all that stuff. But anyway, with the oil, so this is a synthetic oil. It's kind of like liquid bearings. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but uh, I'm curious. Do people use primarily real oil on their model trains, or are people moving more towards the synthetic oils now? So I'm going to give this a try at some point as well. And then this is my one of my decoders. It's just a LED or signal or whatever decoder. So I'll get to that at some point. Yeah, crazy. I feel like the 3-in-1 is at least for the N scale stuff. I feel like it's a little too thick, and that's kind of why I like the synthetics. Is I feel like they are a lot of times a little thinner. But yeah, this synthetic stuff's all plastic safe as well these days. So um, yeah, there's that. Uh, Timber Surf. Andy Ambrose, it's not banned, it's now just black. I would actually love it if the pink foam wasn't pink. Uh, I mean, obviously, you just paint it, it's not a big deal. And once you get the ground covering and everything on it, it is what it is. But, yeah. So these are neat. Who was it? Somebody recently on their live stream was talking about how they clean their track. And Shannon from Back on Track mentioned the Woodland Scenic Tidy Track Dust Monkeys. So I called up Iron Planet Hobbies and I said, "Hey, is this something you can get?" And they said, yes. So, if you want to give me 2 seconds, I'm gonna go grab a box car or something, and see how these fit on. Yeah, Keith, CAMP Railroad. It's interesting. All wood, no foam. Um, there's a whole debate about what to use for your, the baseboard of your deck. What I like about the foam is if you want to cut into it to contour it, it's nice. But if you're just going to use Sculptamold on top of it for your contours, then you can do it on wood. The foam that I hate is that white foam that when you try and cut into it or working on it at all those little beads of white go everywhere. I mean, I guess the white foam's great if you're doing like a snow scene or something, but man, to do all of the yeah, I don't like it. So let me go grab a box car. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I just realized when I left, I could have put up my Be Right Back. You guys could have listened to some music while I was gone, you know, all that stuff. Container Man work calls. Have a good day at work. Stay safe out there. Drive safe. Hope it all goes well. Hey, Melvin. I think I said hello to you, Melvin, earlier. If I didn't, I apologize. So I grabbed a boxcar. It is a Microtrains boxcar. This is one I got pretty recently. Let's go to this camera. Congratulations, America. 1776 to 1976. Canadian Forest Protection. Wait. Canadian. Come on, focus. Can you focus that close? Let's try the overhead one. It's too small to see, but it's from Canada. It's a Canadian car, or at least it says Canadian Forest Products Limited. I just liked the colors. I thought it was fun. Andy, yeah, that was more than 2 seconds. Can we get a refund? Sure. However much you've paid for this specific stream, you can reach out to my people, and you can, you can work it out with them. I wish you could see this over here. It's really frustrating. It just went from 0 people on the stream to 20 people on the stream. It's just all over the place. It's really kind of annoying. Digger Evans, yes, the bicentennial. Those tall ships really lifted the nation's spirits after the Watergate scandal. Oh, yeah, interesting. That's a good point. Andy, I'll get my people to talk to you. Yeah, my people. CAMP, my layout does not have many hills or valleys, 95% except for a bridge. Yeah, Keith, it's interesting that you say that, because one of the things I think I want to do, if and when I have my own layout, or I should say my own bigger layout that's not like T-Trak modules, is I want to try on each level to have the track be flat, but then have the scenery kind of like if there's a valley, the scenery would kind of drop out from under it, and if there's a mountain, it would go up above it, so that the trains wouldn't have to be going up and down grades, but that it would just be flat. And I think a bunch of people do that. I don't think that's original. That's probably how I'm going to do it. So does anyone understand these directions? So what I don't like about figure 1 is it doesn't show you which direction the car is going in. I'm assuming the car is going in, that direction, so that it's dragging it. So I guess it goes behind the front wheel. So we'll see. Hey, Randall, how's it going? Andy Ambrose, my layout's Pacific Northwest, so it goes up and down like a graph of my bank balance after a train show. Andy, my bank balance after a train show would not go up. It would only go down. So I think that's, I think you're doing pretty darn good if yours is going up and down. So it looks like this is part of their T-Trak, Woodland Scenics T-Trak, TT4570, dust track continually. Attach dust monkey to a rolling stock axle, pad side towards track, clip hooked arms over the axle. Dust monkey should swing down freely and make light contact with rails. Blah, 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 blah. Train may be operated in forward or reverse, it's saying. So it's not saying you need to drag it. Replace when felt pad is soiled. That's kind of cool. Let me just take a minute to get this staple out so I don't cut myself. I think I'm going to tear down my layout and start over. Dwight, what about your current layout is it that makes you think that you want to start completely over as opposed to just sort of modifying parts of it? So timber surf, I think the official definition of soiled is too explicit to talk about during this live stream, but hey, Somerset Andy, how you doing? Oh, this is actually kind of nice. Um, you can see it's got a little bit of a roundedness to it, so that it won't catch. Dwight says he can't get his layout to work. Is that is that a DCC system can't work, or if that's I'm just I'm just curious, not not so much to change your mind that you shouldn't start over, but more just because um I think a lot of people do just start over on their layouts every once in a while, and I think it's interesting to sort of discover what are the issues that people come up with that that causes them to start over. Thanks, Manny. I look smart with those glasses on. That was the whole goal of putting them on, is so that I could look smart. It had nothing to do with not being able to see N scale size stuff. So Dwight says track work, and the first sort of thing I did recently with the N scale was my 2019 Christmas tree layout, which is just a simple loop. But I did have some bridges that it went over. And when I attached the track, I had so many problems with just the simple loop. And it kind of really made me realize how difficult it was. Yeah, it made it, how difficult it was to actually get the track, especially N scale, to run really well, especially with the longer 80-foot cars. It's funny you say there's no glass in them. They actually, if you can see, they actually have like a blue tint to them. I don't know if you can see that on the, they're tinted for use with the computers. Digger Evans, Heath, is your girlfriend actually a real person, my friend? If Norm Miller is still here, I will let Norm Miller answer that question for you. If Norm is not here, I will say yes. Dwight Curley, his girlfriend is real. I seen her. Yeah, there was one stream or interview or something that I did where she poked her head in. So what I don't see about these that I'm actually kind of curious about? I'm talking about the dust monkeys in my hand. I'm wondering if like some systems suggest that you wet one and you leave one dry, and you run the wet one in front of the dry one, so it's it's laying down your track. I have this is one of my recent track cleaning attempts, is the ACT 606. So like I'm wondering, can I put the ACT 6006 on one of these and drag that and then put a dry one behind it, or even run them as separate. Oh, Digger says I put IPA on mine, Heath. So Digger, have you used these dust monkeys? Like, do you recommend them? Do you think, how well do they work compared to the CMX cars, as just an example? But wow, that pops on really easily, and it's staying on pretty. It stays on pretty well, but that pops on easily. And I like that it's the same width of the box car, so it doesn't necessarily obviously it just hangs down. It's got a little bit of weight to it. So you can see there's a little separation between the box car and the dust monkey. Oh, it's interesting. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but as it rolls, I'm trying to let's go to this camera. So Digger Evans says they work with the IPA on. I find they're better facing the direction. Oh, okay, interesting. So If this was my setup, you would run it basically you'd run it that way is what you're saying. So that it's sort of like pushing itself into the track as opposed to dragging across it. Um, let's see. Of course, it's too dark. Let's see. Do I have a light? Where's my... I have this like big light. Sorry about the bouncy camera. Here we go. Got this cute little light. Let's see. Does it fit over it? Yes, it does. Yeah, so it actually rides pretty smooth. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, Dwight Curley. What he's talking about are the CMX cars. So, yeah, Manny. So for me, at least, it's not for. I like this ring light on this. It fits just right over the lens. I may need to find a way to hold that on there because, let's see. Makes a big difference, right? Boy, that makes a huge difference. Well, I definitely have to figure out how to mount that. Manny, my intended use for this is not to, like scrub the track when there's track issues. My intended use of this is for, like just a little bit of dust. So it's not so much for a good scrubbing. It's just to kind of, pick it up. Yeah, Andy, the CMX cars here, even for the N scale one, I think it's like $169. And I'm just, I bought a Centerline car, which it's also another brass car, but it's kind of like these dust monkeys, the way they drag on the rail, and the Centerline just sort of, drags along on the rail. I'm not as happy with the Centerline. But it was significantly cheaper. Yeah, I mean CMX for $169, like, and technically, like, you'd want more than one because you'd want, one with IPA and one with maybe track cleaner or whatever. And I just, my club layout, right, which is a huge layout, should absolutely have CMX cleaning cars because it's a huge layout. But, you know. Yeah, Andy, those I forget what they call them here. They're not yeah, you can see the blue in my glasses now, much easier. I forget what they're called here. They're not called Lux though. They're called something else. But they've got like vacuums in them, and you can they're DC, but you can upgrade them to you can put a motor decoder in them, and then you could control the level of the vacuuming. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, I may get a bunch more of these little dust monkeys. I mean, they come it looks like 4 to a pack, but I like the idea of putting these on a couple cars. I mean, I'll at least put all 4 probably on now, and when I need more, I'll just yeah. Dapple, I think is it Dapple? I thought it started with a T. I don't remember. Doesn't really matter, but yeah, I was looking at one of those vacuum cars as well. But we have a dustbuster, and my layout's not that big, so oh, so here's an interesting problem for somebody like me. For somebody like me that keeps all their cars in their jewel cases because they have to keep them in their jewel cases because I don't have anywhere else to keep them. Um, I can't really leave the dust monkey on it, because the plastic is cut for just the car. So that's sort of an interesting thing to note. But they come on and off so simply that. So that's a bit all that I have for now. Uh, just real quick, Anthony is going to be on later. Anthony Dodge, is usually on 3:30 in the U.S., so it's about 3 hours from now. Um, Andy Ambrose, is that the one with the spinning disc at Manny? I also have the older Roco. Spinning disc. I don't know which one that is. Uh, at what time is Vinny on? Vinny's on at 8 o'clock tonight. Saturday morning at 10 a.m. is back on track. There's a lot of different things going on Saturday and Sunday. I'm sure we'll see some other people. Hello, respect is earned, not given. Um, and I'm hosting Sidetrack Sunday. So for Sidetrack Sunday, what I thought I would do, and if people really don't like the idea, speak up now or forever hold your peace, as they say. I am going to, thanks, Digger. Yeah, Vinny is on at 1 a.m. for those of you in the UK. On Sunday, it would be 1 a.m. GMT for me as well, which is 8 p.m. here. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to pull out my HO rolling stock. Most of it's Athearn Blue Box. There's also a bunch of Walther stuff. And I actually have a lot of my old Tyco stuff. So I thought it might be fun to sort of pull that out and go through some of it. And I just realized I'm out of focus being that far away. Hello, Mike from Crossed Anchors. I hope work is going well. What time did you get to sleep last night? That was for Mike. Crossed Anchors did a live stream last night, and Mike had already been up since 4 a.m. and it's a long day. They put a lot of time into their channel. But anyway, so I thought I'd pull out my HO rolling stock. I mean, you've seen some of my N scale stuff at this point. But I haven't really showed off my HO stuff, and I started off with the HO stuff. Started off with my Athearn Blue Box stuff. Oof, Mike, midnight. Oh, I think if I'm remembering correctly, Mike had to wake up at 4 a.m. this morning too. So if he was up till midnight last night, that is not a lot of sleep. Not a lot of sleep. But gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, right? I mean, you gotta fit the trains in when you fit the trains in. So, yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. Does anyone have any questions? Is there anything anybody wants to talk about? Anything that interests people? Are people interested in the circus stuff? I'm a little curious. I have, I'm gonna pull them off. I need to do this, but I have these books, and I think they're kind of really neat. They've got a lot of pictures and stuff in it, but this is a lot of where, I look at this kind of stuff, and this is what makes me want to continue on the circus tradition. But yeah, I mean, it's just a really cool book of various pictures and stuff. So, where did I just see a question? Sorry. Oh, Digger. Yes, Heath, is it true that your apartment was used in the movie Little Nicky? I don't remember the movie Little Nicky. Our building was in, if you saw Scully, There's a shot in Scully where people are standing looking over the Hudson, and that was shot in our building. They've shot a bunch of stuff in our building, but I don't know. I don't know Little Nicky, so I can't say. Hey JT1, what's going on? Um, but yeah, I actually have two copies of this book. It's kind of funny. I have a hardcover one. The problem is the hardcover one's down in storage, completely buried. So what I did is I ended up uh, just getting another copy. Um, but my favorite are the old Pullman cars. I love this is the time period that I really like uh, of the trains. That said, I don't know that I want to model that time period though either. So it's it's all good. Hello, crossed anchors. So, Mike, are you posting from both Mike from Cross Anchors and from Cross Anchors Railroad, or is Cross Anchors actually Brian? I'm just curious if you're talking to yourself or if if not. Digger, I worked by the house from. This is from Ian, Lehigh River Subdivision. Digger, I worked by the house from War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise in the beginning under the bridge located in Bayonne, New Jersey. Oh, that's cool. Bayonne, New Jersey. That's really cool. Mike from Cross Anchors. I might need to add r/r to my name. You can do that, Mike from Cross Anchors Railroad. Oh, it is Brian. Awesome. Welcome, Brian. Welcome, Mike. Got the whole gang. Um, I actually liked that stream last night. I thought it was kind of cool having Alex there and having Alex not be somebody that had experience with model trains and to kind of see him, um, to kind of see him exploring how the controller worked and all that kind of stuff. Um, so Mike from Cross Anchor says, funny though, way too much work to log into each account and talk to myself. I understand. When GFW pops on the stream, I never know whether it's George or Wally because I usually assume it's George because I know Wally has his own account as well. But then I think sometimes Wally had just been logged into GFW because he was doing something else. So he just logs in as GFW, and I never know who I'm talking to sometimes. So I think that's really pretty funny. But yeah, I love just looking through this book, the various pictures. So that's why I kind of pulled it out. And you see, the other thing that I think is really interesting about this is that this is all, hey, Daniel Banks. These are all circuses in the U.S. So like a lot of us just know about Ringling Brothers just because they were the big ones. But like, Ranch Real Wild West. Russell Brothers is this one. This is from Tim McCoy's. These were all shows that traveled by train back in the day, and I think it's cool. Mike, we took a video of showing him it for the first time in so long. It was funny. We'll be posting soon. It's good. Yeah, it was really, it's like that. We all remember back to the first, time that we ran trains and sort of that excitement. And I feel like I saw that a little bit. Saw that a little bit last night on your stream, showing Alex the ropes on it. So, Mike, have a good day at work. Really awesome. Yeah, Lehigh River Subdivision. There are some really great videos of the circus trains on YouTube, and then there's I think it's the History Channel did one of these Extreme Trains episodes with the Ringling Brothers train, and it's a neat part of our history. It's something I think a lot of people don't know about. But yeah, talk about the train crashes. There were definitely some train crashes. But I need to stop at the museum in Sarasota. Yeah, Steve Childers. If you're down that way, I would definitely check it out. I really also want to get up to Baraboo. Baraboo, Wisconsin has a circus museum as well. And that's, that's partly why I want to model what I want to model, is to, to be able to remember these times. I mean, think about the time and effort it takes to load all these wagons onto a train, move it to a next location, and then unload every single one of those wagons and do it again and again. Daniel Banks, when the circus came to my town, it unloaded a couple blocks from my house. Elephants walk down my street. It's mind blowing. Yeah, and even, I guess, the YouTube's interesting, right? Because now everyone's seen an elephant these days. So, but like to see one in person, to stand next to one, yeah. K-Flan, the Erie Lackawanna Dining Car Preservation Society has 4 Barnum and Bailey cars, and we're allowed to keep the Barnum and Bailey logos on them. Oh, that's really cool. K-Flan, where is the Erie Lackawanna Dining Car Preservation Society? Is it on the Lackawanna side, or is it more towards the Erie side? Yeah, Lehigh River Subdivision. The local train club holds a few small train shows. There's usually a guy with a circus-themed train layout. When I went up to Amherst, I met a guy. I forget his whole name now. It wasn't Lowell Smith, but I think it was Lowell something or other. And he has these 2 N-Track modules that he can swap them out. One is carnival based, and then one is circus based, and it's really it's really interesting. Digger Evans, we don't really have a performing animal circus here that I know of now. Yeah, Digger, now, that's very true. The whole thing of having animals in circuses has kind of been eliminated, for, better or worse. But I still love, I'm still a big fan of Cirque du Soleil, and there's still, I actually really like the European style circus, which is the one ring circus. A lot of the stuff in the US was, got to be bigger. So they'd have, 2 or 3 rings, but the single ring circus stuff over in Europe, I actually think is really interesting. But yeah, there's not as many animals anymore, and if there are, they're usually things like dogs. K-Flan, it's currently sitting in Dixon City, just outside of Scranton. They sit on the old D&H line. That's really cool. The crazy thing is, I grew up in Pennsylvania. I grew up in Bucks County, which is on the Philadelphia side, a little bit north of Philly. And I never went to Strasburg as a kid. I never went to Jim Thorpe. I never went to EBT. There's so much railroad history in Pennsylvania, and I never, for whatever reason, I never really went. But there is the Ivy Land and New Hope excursion railroad, and I've been to that one, which is in New Hope, but that's about it. Digger Evans, a lot of places here don't allow the circus if there's animals. Yeah, and that's what's happened, Digger, is that a lot of we've learned a lot about things. We've learned a lot about things. We've learned a lot about animals and understand them a lot better now, and I think it was the right move. It was the right move to not keep sort of showing them in that manner. Lehigh River Subdivision, 5 minutes from Jim Thorpe. Are you saying that what K-Flan's talking about is 5 minutes from Jim Thorpe? Because that might be worth. Drew at Nordell Model Railroad Club. Don't forget the Wilmington Western. Drew, that's in Delaware. We're not talking about Delaware. We're talking about Pennsylvania. Andy, I don't know about the dog racing with the dogs. That's a good question. Yeah, respect is earned, not given. I like the circus. It's too bad they stopped. In a lot of cases. Oh, you live 5 minutes from Jim Thorpe, Ian. Oh, that's awesome. I need to get over to Jim Thorpe. They actually allow dogs on the trains, apparently. So, yeah. But Yeah, what Daniel Banks is saying, and then respect is earned. Well, Daniel Banks is, to be fair, when circuses were at their pinnacle, there was no other way for people to see those animals. Exactly, and I think that's part of why the traditional single ring or three ring um, circuses died out to some extent. Is now you can see a lot of that in other places, and unless you're going to like a Cirque du Soleil show that is a circus style show, but not necessarily a traditional circus show, it's a very different experience. I've been to some little tiny circuses in in Amsterdam. I was at some little tiny circus, and I've been to a couple here where um, it's very interesting. They're carrying on that older style, like Lee Evers said, so does the Wanamaker Kempton Southern. They have a dog train this weekend, I believe. Where's Wanamaker Kempton Southern? Is that also in Pennsylvania? Andy, I'm not going to repeat your comment, just in case your wife decides she wants to watch this stream. Dwight at Northern Star, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, had one of the very first indoor toilets in the U.S. Yeah. I think Pennsylvania, I think, had one of the first traffic lights as well, somewhere, I think, as well. But anyway, respect is earned, not given. Oh, I love those shows. I've seen 2 Cirque du Soleil. Yeah, Cirque du Soleil shows, and it was fascinating. I'm a big fan of what Cirque du Soleil does, the way they wind a story together with all of the sort of amazing feats that people do. I think was really it was really cool. Lehigh River Subdivision, it's between Allentown and Reading, kind of. Yeah. Ian, my whole thing too is living in New York City. I don't have a car. So, I'd love to like take this time now and like go down to Northlands or go out to Strasbourg or whatever, but not having a car. I mean, I could rent one, but who knows where the car's been and whatever. So, anyway, yeah. Besides Wabash, Indiana, in Peru is Peru, Indiana. That is the Circus Hall of Fame. They still do a circus each year. There's all youth performers, no animals. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I know youth circus has become a big thing. I don't know if they still do it, but I believe it was Florida University used to have like a big circus program. NYU used to have a whole circus thing as well. Keith from CAMP. Tom from Tom's Trains and Things threatened to come up to the area, and we were talking about Rick Bailey and maybe even Ray and some other people going to Northlands. My dad actually lives in Lambertville, which is closer to Northlands, being in Flemington. But yeah, it's it'd be fun to get to, especially since it's changed hands. I'm curious to see what it's become now that it's changed hands. Um, yeah, Ian, 2.5 hours for me is Jim Thorpe, and it also seems that Strasbourg's like 2.5 hours, and the Amherst train show was 2.5 hours, and you know. Andy Ambrose, I think I'd be freaked by driving in New York City. I've watched CAMP's videos. Uh, yeah, it's very New York City takes a certain person to I just love looking at these pictures. I don't know about anybody else, but all the modern stock cars and stuff, and you can see the different as the logo changed. I love that they used to travel with their own generators, so when they'd park in a yard, they would power everything up. But yeah, CAMP, their mixed reviews on the place. Are you talking about originally or as the updates that they're mixed reviews? My original, I remember when I went to Northlands the first time and I saw it, I was kind of like, oh, they basically just had a lot of money and they bought a bunch of Atlas stuff. And it seemed like everything there was Atlas. And I didn't know the history behind it, about the guy that sort of started building it in his basement. And I wasn't as blown away by it. When Gulliver's Gate was here in New York, or even just seeing what I've seen of Miniature Wonderland, to me that is just so much more amazing. But I'm curious if I went there now. I haven't been there as a, quote unquote adult, really. Um, I'm sort of curious to see, what's become of it. So I definitely want to get there. If there was a meetup there, I would definitely try and get out there. Best layout to visit in the USA is surely Colorado. Andy, are you talking about Michelle Kempema's place where she works? Ian, Ian, you live that close to New York City and you've never stopped? That's so funny. That's too crazy. I have a book with my area in Somerset from the 1950s. It's amazing. Yeah, I love too. One of the things I'll do is there are some historical websites that will have like all the various corners of New York photographed, and you can go and look at the photographs from the old pictures, and then go on Google and look up the new ones. But yeah. Yeah, Dwight, I know it was built over many years time. Oh, speaking about Northland's trip, John 2618 says if we do the trip, he'd try and join us as well, because he's got some family in that area. Yeah, I think Northlands might be an interesting winter trip for some people in the area to do if we plan it out far enough in advance. There's probably enough people that could drive into the area for it and go. I think it's worth seeing. I guess I just sort of felt now. So John 2618, if I'm not mistaken, John, you've said that you had been to the guy's house before he moved to the current Northlands location, which I feel like from what I've seen, the original house and the original place, it looks more interesting to me than what I saw at Northlands. But yeah, Valley Forge is not far from Northlands. That's very true as well. How about we do it after Christmas? That'd be cool, Keith. I would definitely be up for that. Speaking about Christmas, I wonder if the Bronx is going to do their train show. What's it called? The Bronx Botanical Garden does a really cool train exhibit. Hey, Carl, thanks so much for stopping by. Take care. Have a great day, great weekend. But, well, John, I'll give you credit for the story anyway, because I don't remember who it is. But anyway, I've been saying a lot, haven't I? Thanks, guys, for posting the link. Yeah, it's really, they have a huge organ there as well. Robert, what are you breaking now, Heath? Robert, I actually didn't break anything. Well, I knocked the railing off of the train car, but I actually finished I had this little TCS decoder. This is actually the light board, but I replaced the decoder today, and it worked, and it went by so quickly. I don't have a lot more to talk about. I'm probably going to stop around 1-ish, so we're like 5 minutes out. But yeah, Lehigh, yes. Northlands is just a little bit north of Flemington. I think it's near Branchburg. Is that right? Robert, I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for coming, and hit the thumbs up if you haven't done so already. It definitely does help. But it's been good, and I hope people have liked these Fridays. It's looking like I'm gonna have some work coming up in the next couple weeks, but I'm gonna try and keep doing these Fridays. I like sort of the informal nature of them, and I think it's good to have a little place for people to get to go and get together. Respect is not given. 6 hour drive, that's doable. Yeah, I mean, it would be great if we did it. I would probably say that we could do it at, like, let's say 1 o'clock, and if people wanted to meet a little bit earlier, we could do like lunch at 12 and then hit up the place at like 1, and then maybe do just an early dinner on the way out. So thanks, Daniel. Thanks for stopping by. um, John, how close are you to Valley Forge now? I don't really know. I get so confused as to where you are in. I mean, I know you're near the Schuylkill River, obviously, but yeah. Schuylkill River Valley, live in the apartments on the river off 422. Been here 6 years. Oh, interesting. Oh, Keithland, I didn't realize you were another PA person either. There's a lot of people in this area that do trains, which is interesting to me because growing up, and I keep talking about this, you live in Bucks County now? I grew up in Bucks County, John. I don't know that I don't know that I realized that. Um, you live in Northwest Bucks County. Wow. Okay. Uh, Growing up, without any YouTube, I would go to the Greenberg train shows, but I didn't have a lot of connections to other people who model trains. But it's like now that we're online and on YouTube, it's funny because I'm meeting all of these, meeting all these people that are in the same area. Uh, oh, Quakertown. Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Andy, my brother, lives in Bucks County. Bucks County is gorgeous. It's an area I would not mind moving back to, but boy, has it gotten expensive. When I lived there, it was just sort of getting built up. The area we moved into, there were still a lot of farms, but over the time I lived there, all the farms disappeared and more. Oh, different Bucks County, Andy? Anyway. Yeah, I know Brian from Cross Anchors is also from Pennsylvania, over on the more towards the Pittsburgh side. But yeah, Anthony Dodge, you gonna be on today at 3:30, Mr. Anthony? I told people you were, so now you have to be. But yeah, so take a couple more minutes, say hello, goodbye to people. I'm gonna get out of here. I got a conference call. Yeah, Schuylkill River Valley. There are still a lot of farms in Northwest Bucks. I was in the Yardley area, and there's virtually nothing in Yardley anymore. No farms there. I grew up near Sesame Place. It's where I grew up. That's where I worked growing up, was Sesame Place theme park. Um, yeah, K-Flan, is Northlands close enough to you that it would be worth the trip if we did like a winter gathering? Or is that getting a little bit too far for you? But yeah. Robert, thanks for coming. Yeah, Yardley is way overgrown. When we moved there, I could get in a lot of trouble because there were just fields all around us, and we were one of the earlier subdivisions, and it's Yardley's lower Makefield County. It's just, but yeah. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of the conversation. Got to see a decoder install. We talked a little bit about easy streets. We talked a little bit about circus stuff. So yeah, it was a good stream, and let's keep talking about maybe doing like a January winter trip somewhere indoors that we can us in the Northeast, and maybe other people by then can hopefully join us. But yeah, come see me, Sidetrack Sunday at 8 p.m. Anthony should be on in a little bit. Vinny will be on later tonight. Back on Track in the morning. PGH Train Fanatic usually does a stream on the weekend. So, check it all out. Support everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much.